Tran is accused of going at least 70 miles per hour on surface streets and sideswiping a pickup truck, then hitting a pair of parked cars on Saturday night. Beltran's car rolled several times after the third crash and came to rest on its roof. He was not seriously injured. Beltran, who was initially wanted for speeding, is out of jail after posting bail on Sunday morning.
State and regional transportation officials are proposing a toll for Highway 37. The toll would help pay for a planned series of short and long-term improvements to the road between Sears Point and Mere Island, which have been damaged by flooding and burdened by heavy traffic. Toll revenue would help fund adding a lane to alleviate congestion and eventually elevating the highway to protect it from storm and tidal surges. Widening the road is expected to cost $430 million. Work expected to start in 2025 and finish by 2027. The electronic toll stations would start with bus service and a low-income discount program.
A luxury boys' hot springs hotel may be in trouble for union busting. The National Labor Relations Board has found sufficient evidence to prosecute 43 labor law violations at the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn. Several of the violations are related to workers' attempts to unionize. They include illegal threats against employees who are engaging in union activities, interrogating employees about those activities, and promising a promotion to an employee if he refrained from joining a union. A union spokesman tells the Press Democrat that workers told hotel management about their intent to unionize with a petition in February. About 250 workers are employed at Sonoma Mission Inn.
Life is starting to return to normal after a trio of stabbing attacks in Davis. In-person night classes at UC Davis are expected to resume today following the arrest of the suspect accused of murdering two men and seriously wounding a woman in a span of less than a week. All three stabbings took place at night, prompting the university to switch on classes starting after 6 p.m. to a remote format until the suspect was caught. The suspect, a 21-year-old man and former UC Davis student, is facing 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Pleaded not guilty to the charges on Friday and is being held without bail.
African Americans are one step closer to receiving reparations in California. Trey Thomas reports.
The California Reparations Task Force is approving a list of proposals that would compensate and apologize to black people for generations of harm and racial discrimination. Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee attended Saturday's meeting in Oakland.
Reparations are not a luxury for our people, but a human right long overdue for millions of Americans.
The state proposals agreed to Saturday include a formal apology from the state, compensation, and policy reforms that will help African Americans gain equity.
That is Trey Thomas reporting.
The Oakland teacher strike will continue into a second week. This teacher describes what she and her colleagues are hoping to accomplish.
We want to have all the supports in place that we need for our students there, and that includes things like more special education resources, like all the things we're hearing about in Common Good, which is big bucket issues like climate and housing.
Sunday night, the Oakland Unified School District announced it had not reached a deal on a new contract with the Oakland Education Association. This will be day 3 of the strike that's affecting about 3,000 teachers and 35,000 students. The district says schools will stay open for things like meal distribution, but it won't be school as usual.
A local dog will be competing at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. 2-year-old Rafa, a 100-pound plus Tibetan Mastiff from Sonoma, will be competing today and tomorrow at Westminster in New York City. He'll be there with his owners, Carlene and Vlad Fabusovich, who have given him the nickname of King of Sonoma Mountain. Rafa won the award of Best of Breed and Owner Handler at the AKC Nationals last year. He also won the American Kennel Club National Championship in Florida on January 1st. Go, Rafa! It is 8:40 now at KSRO.
This is George Adair with Cross Country Mortgage. If you're in the market to buy a home, this message is for you. My team and I are experts at providing hands-on assistance to getting your home financing done fast and with confidence. Folks, I've been helping people obtain the right financing for nearly 2 decades. This experience has helped hundreds of homeowners get through some challenging situations. Maybe you're a property investor, or how about a first-time home buyer? Divorces are very complicated, and you need my experience to understand what your mortgage options are. Inherited property or rent-to-own agreements are also my specialty. Financing a home is a huge transaction in your life. When combined with a challenging situation, you need the advice and confidence to do it right. If you're ready for a great lending experience, call 707-583-8100. That's 707-583-8100. Or visit georgeadair.com. That's georgeadair.com.
Cross Country Mortgage, NMLS 3029, and Georgia Adair, NMLS 24536. 870 www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity, subject to credit approval.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC News is like a little one-on-one teacher.
It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on Gold IRA. Watch out, vehicle and shoulder ahead. Raised by texting the word shelter to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word shelter to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
It is 8:43 now in KSRO. Time for a look at financial news with Steve Reuter at Merrill Lynch. Steve, can you give us a summary of the morning?
Yeah, kind of boring. It's been really a lackluster session. I think we're just a lack of news here. Most of the major earnings reports of importance have come and gone. The economic data of import as well. We have seen really not a lot to trade on here. We're off 104 points right now on the Dow at 33,570. NASDAQ lower by 22 points at 12,212. And you're down a half a point. Gold higher now by $10 to $2,035. I'm Steve at Merrill Lynch for KSRO.
Financial news at 12:42 mornings on KSRO. Now with a KSRO sports update, here's Larry Olson.
Warriors and Lakers game 4 tonight from Tinseltown. Purple and gold up 2-1 after routing the Dubs in game 3 Saturday. In that loss, Dubs got 4 technical fouls and turned the ball over 19 times. Dubs actually had an early lead, then poof, Steph Curry.
You showed her a lot of confidence when we came to what we need to do to win game 4, so at the end of the day, you just gotta go do it. That's the beauty of the series and having an opportunity to throw this one in the garbage and move on.
Warriors v. Lakers game 4 at 7 o'clock right here on KSRO. The baseball Giants 4-game winning streak comes to an end with a 7-3 loss to the Brewers. G-Men 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Stranded 10 men. Orange and Black host the Nationals tonight. The battle of the worst two teams in all of baseball. The A's dropped the finale in Kansas City 5-1. 3-0 now at 8-27. Royals at 9-26. A's headed to the Bronx for a set with the Yankees starting this afternoon. Vida Blue passed away over the weekend. He played for both the Giants and A's. He won the American League MVP and Cy Young Awards in 1971 and won 3 World Series championships with the A's from 1972 to 1974. NASCAR Denny Hamlin takes the checkered flag at the Advent Health 400 race in Kansas. Life is uncertain, and so kid have been stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. Cal Hope can help. Access Cal Hope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673. Live chat at calhope.org. Larry Olson, sports at 13:43 past the hour mornings on KSRO.
2:45 at KSRO, and time for a look at your commute. Here's Paul Maxwell.
Thanks, Michelle. Heads up in Santa Rosa, North 101 before Todd. Plastic tubes in the right lane. Just a bit of a backup, but it does stay heavy all the way up to just past College. Southbound heavy from Airport to just past Mark West Springs and River Road. South 101 in Marin County, very slow from Roland down to Ignacio, then solid slow continuing to North San Pedro. Highway 12, a little heavy between Boys Hot Springs and Sonoma Plaza. Also watch out for the usual backup heading to Sebastopol, Highway 12 and the Crowded State Highway. West 37, slow over the Merrill Island Bridge, heavy to Skaggs Island. Your next update at 8:55. Now with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast, here's Daniel Trucios.
Thank you, Paul. We do have a high of 64 today, 56 along the coast with sunny skies this afternoon. Wind speeds will be light, cloudy skies overnight, low 44. Here's 70 then for Tuesday and Wednesday, 50s meanwhile along the coast. It's going to be mostly sunny this week. Thursday in the mid-70s, and then Friday low 80s. We could even click 90 degrees or near 90 for the weekend.
52 in Windsor, 50 in Healdsburg, and 53 in Santa Rosa. KSRO news time is 8:46.
If it's happening now, it's on KSRO. Local news coverage you can trust. Accurate forecasts to get you ready for what's next. Your first choice for news and weather.
Sonoma County's FM News Talk, KSRO, at 103.5 in Santa Rosa and 96.9 in Petaluma.
Did you know that mosquitoes can still thrive in a drought? Mosquitoes need very little water to complete their life cycle.
Help fight the bite by dumping out plant saucers. Tightly cover or screen water storage containers, stock mosquito fish in ponds, and refresh water in bird baths and pet dishes once a week.
To report mosquito problems, contact the Marin-Sonoma Mosquito and Vector Control District at 707-285-2200.
Or visit msmosquito.org for more information.
Improperly maintained or neglected pools and spas can produce hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes, resulting in neighborhood-wide mosquito problems that can increase the risk of mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile virus. If you have an unmaintained pool or spa, or know of one in your community, contact the Marin-Sonoma Mosquito and Vector Control District at 707-285-2200 or online at msmosquito.org for help. That's 707-285-2200 or msmosquito.org.
Hi, I'm Brad Burgum, CFO of Poppy Bank Epicenter. Poppy Bank is a true community partner. There's nothing like dropping by Poppy Bank in downtown Santa Rosa and being greeted by name with a smile. These kinds of relationships are invaluable for local small businesses like ours. Thanks to Poppy Bank, we have recovered from the shutdowns and we are in a great position to thrive.
Poppy Bank has been named Best Business Bank for a reason. Bank with a financial partner who lends locally. Visit poppy.bank for more information. POPPY.bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey Sonoma County, have fad diets failed you? Are you still struggling with chronic obesity? Then minimally invasive weight loss surgery might be for you. Attend one of Sutter Santa Rosa's free weight loss seminars from the comfort of your home. Learn about robotic surgery and the tools needed for sustained weight loss. Get your questions answered live and begin your path to a healthier life. Register to attend at ksro.com. Just click on the Sutter banner. That's ksro.com and click on the Sutter banner.
I'm Stephen Curry. I'm the Violin. Hi, I'm Jonathan Dominguez. I'm Ron Adams, and you're listening to KSRO, North Bay headquarters of Dub Nation.
It is 8:49 at KSRO, recapping the top local stories this morning. A high-speed chase through Santa Rosa ended with the suspect in a rollover crash. Before that crash, the driver hit 3 other vehicles.
You may soon need to pay a toll to drive over Highway 37. New tool would help fund badly needed repairs to the road between Sears Point and Mare Island.
And a luxury hotel in Boys Hot Springs is in hot water for union busting activities. The National Labor Relations Board is prosecuting the Fairmont-Sonoma Mission Inn for over 40 labor law violations. The search for answers continues today as a community remains in mourning after gunmen killed 8 people and injured over half a dozen others before being shot to death at a shopping mall in Allen, Texas. With this latest tragedy, the Gun Violence Archive reports the country has experienced just shy of 200 mass shootings so far this year. Authorities have identified the shooter in Saturday's incident as a 33-year-old Hispanic male who they say acted alone.
Authorities have executed a search warrant on the home of the gunman connected to the deadly mass shooting in Allen, Texas. Neighbors say they didn't know much about him.
The time that I did see him, he would just come to work, go to work, and then when he get home from work, he would just like anybody else. He would just park, get out, walk in his house, and that's it. I mean, he didn't do anything that set off any blast.
Heavy law enforcement presence could be seen at the suspected shooter's home Sunday. Although he lived in the neighborhood for years, most neighbors said they didn't even know his name. The shooter, identified as 33-year-old Hispanic male, killed 8 people and injured several others at an outlet mall Saturday before being shot to death by police.
Nearly 1,700 people have been evacuated from Russian-controlled areas of Ukraine near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. An official with the United Nations said Saturday that the area is potentially dangerous ahead of an expected Ukrainian counteroffensive. The region has made headlines during the Russian invasion, with bouts of fighting taking place at and near the plant, Europe's largest nuclear plant.
The government has taken action following a series of airline cancellations and nightmare travel scenarios
this will be the first time in U.S. history the government would require airlines to do so. The Biden administration proposal would include compensation and refunds, but also meal vouchers, overnight stays, transportation to the hotel, and rebooking when airlines are deemed responsible for stranding passengers at the airport. At the White House, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
7 people are confirmed dead and nearly a dozen others were injured after a driver slammed into a crowd of migrants Sunday in front of a homeless shelter in Brownsville, Texas. Police Lieutenant Martin Sandoval says some of the bystanders detained the driver.
It wasn't unknown if the driver was just trying to get out of the vehicle or trying to leave the scene. That is something that the detectives are talking to several witnesses about. If he was trying to leave the scene, of course, that would be another charge.
Sandoval says the suspect was arrested and charged with reckless driving, and more charges will likely be filed. The crash happened at a bus stop in front of a shelter for migrants in the Texas border city at around 8:30 a.m. yesterday. Investigators say it appears the crash may have been intentional.
Governor of North Carolina says a Republican-backed 12-week abortion ban is an effort to ban abortion completely. Trey Thomas has more.
Speaking on CBS's Face the Nation, Democrat Roy Cooper said the GOP bill creates numerous obstacles not only for women, but also for clinics and doctors.
They rammed through a bill in 48 hours with no public input, with no amendments, that drastically reduces access to reproductive freedom for women.
Cooper said he would veto the bill, but acknowledged the Republican supermajority in the state legislature could override his veto. I'm Trey Thomas.
Closing arguments are scheduled to start today in the Lower Manhattan civil trial where former President Donald Trump is accused of rape and defamation. Trump decided not to testify in the trial where writer E. Jean Carroll accuses Trump of raping her in a Manhattan store dressing room in the 1990s. Carroll is seeking millions of dollars in punitive and compensatory damages. Trump denies wrongdoing and claims that Carroll made up the story to sell copies of her book.
Grand jury will decide if the Marine who put a man in a fatal chokehold on a New York City subway train will face criminal charges. Daniel Perry put Jordan Neely in a chokehold for about 15 minutes 1 week ago after Neely reportedly started yelling at passengers. Friends say Neely needed psychiatric help, and his death has sparked protests in the city.
2 members of the House Intelligence Committee say Israel and other Middle East countries want the U.S. to have a stronger role in security in the region.
There are serious threats in the area, and the United States should play a role.
Appearing together on CNN's State of the Union, Republican Committee Chair Mike Turner of Ohio and top-ranking Democrat Jim Himes of Connecticut said that leaders from Israel, Egypt, and Jordan believe the U.S. needs to step up its influence in the region. Both congressmen said Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's greatest concern is Iran's push to build a nuclear weapon. Turner and Himes each described diplomacy in the Middle East as complicated.
Okay, I feel like this is good news, Michelle. Americans consume 400% more hot sauce during the pandemic. Free Tennis has more on why that may actually be a good thing.
The National Library of Science says hot sauce reduces swelling, lessens arthritis, and can make your toothache go away. It's the capsaicin that does it.
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder and head.
That's that chemical compound that makes the pepper hot, and that's what you want. The American Heart Association says capsaicin can help you lose weight because it speeds metabolism. It can improve your heart health and reduces stress and anxiety. And doctors say there's no such thing as too much hot sauce. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Ooh, we're so spicy. It is 8:55 now at KSRO. And where might you see those slowdowns? Here is Paul Maxwell.
It's Michelle at CHV on the way to Santa Rosa. Todd, they are going to clear out some plastic tubes from the right lane. Just a minor backup as a result. It does stay heavy though, continuing past the scene up towards College Avenue. Southbound, just the usual slow into Highway 12. Highway 12, some heaviness westbound from Elstone Road to Farmers Lane. Eastbound heavy from Farmers to just past Ford. Sebastopol, the usual backup on Highway 12 on Ravenstein Highway, reaching that intersection. And South 101 very slow to the bottom. Roland to Ignacio, slowed in San Pedro, heaviness down past Lincoln. That's traffic. I'm Paul Maxwell. Your next update this afternoon at 3:05 on the drive. Now with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast, here's Daniel Trusius.
Thanks, Paul. Well, we do have sunny skies coming later today, this afternoon. High of 64, 56 along the coast. Wind speeds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Cloudy, then overnight, low 44. Looks like it's going to be summer towards the end of the week. We're going to get it in the 80s by Friday and be in the high